Alien species, the Reticulan hybrids. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hidden Truth. We've covered many races across the stars: the classic Zeta Reticulan Greys, the tall benevolent Nordics, the wise Syrians, the spiritual Arcturians, the ancient Anunnaki, the artistic vegans, the regal Lyrants, the mysterious Umites, the freedom-focused Procyonans, the nuanced Solipsi Ray, the approachable Alpha Centaurians, the complex Orions, the powerful Draconians, and the elegant tall Whites. Today we're exploring one of the most intimate, emotionally charged, and controversial topics in the entire field of UFO and abduction research. The Reticulan hybrids, also known as Zeta Reticulan hybrids or simply gray human hybrids. These are beings allegedly created through genetic mixing between the short Zeta Reticulan Greys and human beings. Unlike pure Greys, who are typically described as short, gray-skinned entities with large black almond-shaped eyes and a clinical demeanor, Reticulan hybrids are portrayed as a blended form combining traits from both species in varying degrees. They represent the idea that humanity may already be sharing its genetic future with non-human intelligence. Physically, Reticulan hybrids are described as occupying an intermediate position. Most accounts place their height between 5 and 6.5 feet taller than the classic short Greys but shorter than most adult humans. Their skin is usually pale gray to light beige or off-white, sometimes with a subtle translucent or mottled quality. The head is larger than a typical human head, though less dramatically elongated than pure Greys. The eyes are large and almond-shaped, but often less completely black than those of the Greys. Some reports mention dark eyes with visible pupils or even a slight iris color such as gray, blue, or hazel. The eyes are frequently said to convey a mix of intelligence and emotional depth. Facial features show a clear blend. A smaller nose and mouth than pure Greys, but still reduced compared to humans. Cheekbones are often high and delicate. Hair is sparse or absent in many cases, but some hybrids are described as having fine, light-colored hair, white, blonde, or reddish. The body is slender with long limbs, and hands typically have 4 or 5 fingers, sometimes with webbing or elongated digits. Overall, many experiencers describe hybrids as appearing almost human but with an uncanny or ethereal quality, fragile, graceful, and often androgynous. Researchers often divide hybrids into categories based on the ratio of gray to human genetics. Early-stage hybrids tend to look more gray-like, while later-stage or more integrated hybrids can pass for human under certain lighting or with minor disguises. This progression is said to reflect a multi-generational program designed to gradually increase human-like traits. The Reticulan hybrid narrative is closely tied to the broader Zeta Reticulan abduction and genetic engineering lore. According to many abduction researchers and contactee accounts, the Zeta Reticulans have been conducting a long-term hybridization program on Earth for decades, possibly centuries. The stated purpose in most accounts is to create a hybrid race that combines the genetic strengths of both species. The Zeta Reticulans' advanced mental and psychic abilities with human emotional capacity, physical resilience, and reproductive vitality. These programs are said to involve the collection of human genetic material, ova, sperm, and sometimes embryos during abduction experiences, followed by laboratory fertilization and gestation in artificial wombs aboard craft or in underground facilities. The resulting hybrids are then raised in controlled environments, with some eventually integrated into human society or used for further breeding cycles. The programs are often described as multi-generational. First-generation hybrids tend to look more alien, while later generations become increasingly human in appearance and behavior. Some accounts claim that certain hybrids have been placed into human families or raised in secret facilities for observation and training. Reticulan hybrids are portrayed as occupying an intermediate position between pure Greys and humans. In some narratives, they serve as intermediaries or ambassadors between the Zeta Reticulans and humanity. Others suggest they are being prepared as a future bridge species for open contact or as a replacement population in case of major planetary changes. Many abduction experiencers report emotional or telepathic interactions with hybrids during their encounters. Some describe the hybrids as appearing curious, gentle, or even caring, while others note a more detached or clinical demeanor. A recurring theme is that hybrids often show a particular interest in human emotions, family bonds, and artistic expression qualities they are said to lack or possess in limited form. The Reticulan hybrid narrative draws from several key areas of UFO research. The pioneering work of Bud Hopkins in books such as Missing Time 1981 and Intruders 1987 documented numerous cases in which abductees, especially women, reported being shown or asked to hold hybrid infants or children and feeling strong maternal bonds toward them. David Jacobs, in The Threat 1998, compiled hundreds of hypnotic regression sessions and argued that the hybridization program was the central purpose of the abductions, describing a systematic, multi-generational process aimed at eventual integration into human society. John Mack, the Harvard psychiatrist, explored the profound emotional and existential impact of these experiences in Abduction 1994 and Passport to the Cosmos 1999. Whistleblower and underground base lore sometimes includes claims of hybrid nurseries in facilities such as Dulce. Channeled material and starseed accounts also discuss hybridization programs as part of a larger galactic genetic experiment or soul recycling process. There is no single dominant, well-verified physical event that anchors the reticulan hybrid phenomenon. The evidence consists primarily of abduction testimonies, hypnotic regression sessions, and personal accounts from experiencers. Physical traces such as scars, implants, or reported missing pregnancies have been documented by some researchers. But these remain highly debated and unverified by mainstream science. The reticulan hybrid narrative faces significant evidentiary challenges. While thousands of people have reported experiences involving hybrid beings, there is no independently verified physical evidence, no DNA samples, photographs, or medical records that have withstood rigorous scientific scrutiny. Most accounts rely on hypnotic regression, conscious recall, or intuitive memories, all of which are subject to memory distortion, cultural influence, and psychological factors. Skeptics argue that the hybrid phenomenon can be explained through psychological mechanisms such as sleep paralysis, false memory syndrome, or the influence of popular media depictions of greys and abductions. They note that descriptions of hybrids often mirror human expectations shaped by books, films, and online discussions. Supporters point to the remarkable consistency of certain details across unrelated experiencers, the emotional intensity of the accounts, and the fact that some abduction researchers have documented physical traces that appear to correlate with the reported hybridization activities. Reticulan hybrids remain a central and emotionally charged topic within abduction research and starseed communities. They continue to be discussed in books, documentaries, support groups for experiencers, and online forums. For some, the hybrid narrative represents a hopeful bridge between humanity and extraterrestrial intelligence. For others, it raises deep concerns about consent, autonomy, and the long-term implications of genetic intervention by non-human entities. In summary, reticulan hybrids are described as genetically blended beings resulting from alleged Zeta Reticulan human hybridization programs. They are portrayed as occupying an intermediate position between pure greys and humans, with varying degrees of physical and behavioral traits from both species. Information about them comes primarily from abduction testimonies, hypnotic regression, and contactee accounts, with no independent physical corroboration. They represent one of the most intimate and controversial aspects of the extraterrestrial contact phenomenon. The idea that humanity may already be sharing its genetic future with non-human intelligences. Whether viewed as a real ongoing program, a psychological or spiritual phenomenon, or a blend of both. The reticulan hybrid narrative continues to challenge our understanding of what it means to be human in a potentially populated cosmos. What do you think? Does the idea of reticulan hybrids feel like a hopeful bridge between species or a disturbing violation of human autonomy? Have you or someone you know had experiences that felt connected to hybrid beings? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. If this video helped you explore one of the most personal and controversial topics in UFO research, please hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next species, and ring the bell for notifications. Next time we'll continue our journey through the stars with another fascinating race. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep questioning. I'll see you in the next one.